speaking of business houses, the government is in regular touch with them nowadays through the CBI, most of them. The ones who are applying for banking licenses, right?
Yeah.
At any rate, okay, you don't want to comment on that. Nilesh, the cynical view about the budget is that, everybody is talking about the importance of the FM, signaling to the world something pro-reform and positive. But the FM might have his eye on the population because he's interested in winning elections. There are 5 coming up. He should do a populist budget and to hell with the fiscal deficit. Could it work like that?
If I can, before answering that question, if I can add something on FDI. When I was in this Hong Kong conference where the Japanese equity strategist was presenting the case for Japanese equity.
In Japanese?
No, in English.
In English, okay.
Fortunately. And the best part was that one of the statements which she made is that Japan and India has entered into some kind of agreement which will allow Japanese company to participate in the India growth story. And that is one of the reasons why she recommended that one should go long Japanese equity. I think somewhere we have become too myopic about the day-to-day volatility. If Japanese companies whose India presence will be not even 1% of their turnover or profit is becoming bullish on delta investments which they are going to make in India, I think there is reason for us to remain bullish on India. Second thing, the populist budget. Now, when we see NREGS, when that was announced, or when the farm loan waiver was announced, though on television most of the people said, yeah, it's a great step and it's bringing inequality closure and this is needed, in the private there were a lot of comments saying that what the hell is happening, why are we becoming so populist? During the downturn of 2008 and 2009, we realized that whatever was extended by way of subsidy to those farmers and to those workers, it actually helped in improving consumption part of our economy. It helped us sustain during the downturn.
But also stoked inflation, which we are dealing with today.
Is inflation coming because you are putting 65,000 crore in the hands of farmers over 3 years period, or 35,000 crore by way of NREGS? Or is it coming because we have 22% wastage in our food grains? Or is it coming because we are unable to ship fruits from farm to market without wastage on the road? I mean, there can be many debates about it. I don't think so inflation is coming in India alone on the food price side. It's coming in US also, it's coming in UK also. Those countries have only 10% weightage to the food in their consumption basket, and hence inflation is being projected at lower levels. We are unable to depict the price drop in computers or televisions or motor cars which has happened in our inflation basket. In US, when a computer is evaluated on inflation basket, every time there is feature enhancement, it results into drop in price inflation. We are not doing those kind of gimmicks. So our inflation and their inflation is not compared.
Our gimmicks are only that we don't pass down the price of oil. So that's fine. We don't talk about that.
Again, Udayan, the oil price which we are paying is far more than the oil price which Americans are paying. And we are paying far higher retail oil prices because my government is taking away disproportionate share by way of taxes. So it is not that there is a subsidy. We are subsidizing the government. Government is not subsidizing the people. So inflation, again, is a debatable thing. There's no doubt that there is general price level rise. But this inflation can be controlled in the short term by certain steps which will include removal of reduction in wastages, kind of coming down, cracking on the hoarding which is happening on the warehouses side. A populist budget per se will not be negatively accepted by the market as long as we know that whatever is being spent is going to go on a constructive way. If there are more enhancements to Bharat Nirman because more roads are being built or more wells are being dug, I think that's good. But if you are going to spend money which is going to go into corruption, which is going to go into wastage, that's where the markets will have a problem. So can you increase the enhancement along with some productivity increasement through UID, through payment directly to the subsidy receiver, or through bank account mechanism rather than cash mechanism? Some amount of those things I think will be well accepted by the market.
Do you agree with that, Ramdev, that you can have an expansionary budget even at 5% fiscal deficit and it will be accepted by the market as pro-growth?
My sense is that the kind of growth projection which we are having or what we have achieved in the last 5-6 years of closer to 8%, 8.5% kind of thing, and still we have the hope that we might do 9%, 9.5%, and maybe we aspire to do 10%, double digit and all. My sense is that we are, at least what we can see, probably we have to settle for much lower number as a sustainable growth rate, because we are just not, what is required is a supply side, kind of response. I mean, you have to increase your productivity of farms, you have to increase productivity of say factories, your infrastructure more importantly. But where is the delivery? I mean, all the power plants are getting ready, but there is no coal. When you ask the coal guy, he says that there is no railway for evacuation of the coal. So with this kind of disjointed kind of scenario, I don't think you can have 9.5% sustained growth with low inflation. Yes, you can have a 10% inflation and 10% growth, but I don't think that's acceptable to the poor and masses out here. So my sense is that we are slowly heading towards a situation, particularly given the global scenario also, not only the local realities, that instead of talking about 8.5%, 9%, we should simply start pegging the expectation at more like 7, 7.5, 6, 6.5, that kind of thing.
You're talking about GDP growth, right?
Yes.
I thought fiscal deficit for a bit. Nirmal, the space in the market which has got pounded is infrastructure, and there is general acceptance that that space has been lagging for the last 1 year. What do you expect? What can happen in the budget, barring soothing statements that we will do something on infrastructure?
Very little can happen in the budget, because the primary problem is that the projects have not been given away by the government, particularly road and other sectors. And many other projects are stuck in the Environment Ministry, and the lack of clarity in terms of how this will be approved and how this will be monitored. Government can announce a larger, the plan to go towards $1 trillion for 12th plan. The 11th plan target was $500 billion. I doubt whether they'll meet it, but they can still announce. I think, between in the conflict in the populist versus reformist, major reform items like say FDI or GST or DTC, they are neutral from fiscal deficit or revenue or expenditure point of view. They just need big bang announcement. And of course, government will have to work on elections, and I do expect populist things. And many a times we see that finance minister announcing even 75 crore scheme as a part of speech. So we hope that the bulk of speech is populist, but when we look at the numbers, they are reformist.